Hey, this is Brian, the main contributor to the Smart Connections Obsidian plugin, and I'm about to go through the different GitHub issues that I have been unable to respond to. It takes a lot of time to read through the issues and formulate a good response, so I'm hoping that by recording my process, you can see what I'm thinking as I'm coming up with the response, and hopefully that will provide you with more insights on what the future of smart connections look like, and also answer whatever questions it is that you had in the issue itself. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. Okay, let's get started on issue number 202. Here's a familiar face, because reasons. He's one of our most active members of the community. So, thank you, because reasons. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so, so Okay, so in the latest versions, I think because reasons probably already knows this, but for anybody else, you know, let's say you don't have this nice little ChatGPT interface already on your sidebar, you can just start typing ChatGPT, open Smart ChatGPT. I wonder, the screen, the colors on my screen are just starting to look like garbage. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so use that command, get the ChatGPT in your sidebar, then you can utilize the Smart Connect GPT, so you can interact with your notes, through the GPT's Smart Connect notes is the primary one. Yeah, so I'm going to, let's take a screenshot. So ChatGPT. Yeah, like what are these colors? Like, why is it, that is not my theme. I just got this computer and like I really do not. I really would hate to have to return this thing because it was not a short process getting it up to speed. Okay, back to the issue. So, chat history may be used for embeddings. This is excluded by default and be removed from exclusions in the settings. And the above screenshot shows the new ChatGPT view provided by Smart Connections. Okay, let's. Yeah, I mean, look at that. What the heck is going on? Like, I mean, is this like, what is this? I thought like maybe there's a filter on this Loom, software causing the issue, but now I'm just like, is this computer broken? Okay, that's frustrating. I really hope it's not broken. Okay, it looks like we might need to. Okay, issue number 207. Implement smart connections in custom plugin. So this kind of deviates, so enabling GPT builders to utilize the Smart Connect app is something that's in the like vision for Smart Connect. Like currently I'm still just trying to make it accessible for users and make it accessible for like developers that want to submit community actions. But the next step is enabling other GPT builders. GPTs are the like what have succeeded the ChatGPT plugins. So like enabling GPT builders to integrate with Smart Connect. I think that it makes a lot of sense from the developer, like the GPT builder. Like for them, it prevents them having to set up a server and like manage a server, re-implement all of the things that, Smart Connect handles. And from the user standpoint, it means when they use that GPT from that builder, it means that their data is stored locally. So, like it's like that's huge. I think that, it's just a matter of time before we get to that point. Enabling GPT builders with the Smart Connect app is on the roadmap. Is there any specific feature you'd be most interested in? Besides storing memory. So just to elaborate on that a little bit, like obviously ChatGPT has a memory feature now. So that's great. I think that can be used and combined with Smart Connect to do a lot of really cool things. Besides saving the memory, I think that like what the GPT builders will be interested in is being able to, create the custom and community actions. So, yeah, like I'm probably getting into the, semantics at this point, but basically like, enabling the GPT builders to build a custom action. And then, like when you use that person's GPT, like if you authenticate, maybe that community or custom action gets added more seamlessly than the Smart Connect user having to go and like find that community action. But yeah, so it's definitely a point that I'd like to hear more from people that are building the GPTs about, like what might make the most sense, like Smart Connect enabled essentially a local backend for their GPT. Like, like what would be beneficial there? Okay. Issue 211. Can we get a continue generation button? I think this is handled better because reasons. Is this still an issue or can this, prior to the version 2, if you were to tell the smart chat to continue, it would lose the context from what was retrieved. However, since version 2, at least since version 2.1, that should no longer be the case. So let's wait to hear back from because reasons. I have a feeling he'll have a good answer for that. Okay. Increase the weight of Smart View results. Issue number 212. Okay. What do we got here? Well, I hope this person had a nice life since making this issue as well. But besides that, 2 pieces of content have something in common, and I added the double link manually. What do they mean by that? Is that, it looks like maybe that unifying, okay. Okay. Okay, so SmartView doesn't have any any logic that's specific to links at this point. You know, there's another issue that I think will be addressed as a future request in a new feature pretty soon, which is like excluding already linked nodes. So SmartView, you know, doesn't currently listing links in any special way. The text is used similarly as if it were not linked. You know, I think that the re-ranker is another implementation that's going to help this a lot. But is this still an issue? Have you found any workarounds? You know, and thanks for the patience and, you know, waiting for this response. Okay, on to the next one. I think this is a good number to stop on. Issue 213. Limit the number of results and customize the minimum similarity percentage. You know, I think that there's not too much to say here. I think that these are good suggestions. You know, this, I'm going to, let's see, let's go added max results. And minimum similarity filters, the smart view references. Okay, you know, I think that clarifies it a bit for me. Okay, so you know, I think that those are two good features that, you know, it hasn't been until version 2.2 that there is a preferences tab in the smart view. So there really just wasn't a place for this setting. I think it's, you know, the main settings for smart connections was already getting, you know, really cluttered with so many possible configurations. So like being able to put that setting in the smart view, you know, like in that UI, I think that was the main thing that was preventing this from being shipped sooner. But now that the preferences tab is there, it's just a matter of time before we get this implemented. So thanks for the feature request, Ricardo, and I think that'll be my last video for the day. Thanks everybody for submitting the issues, and I will see you next time.